Sports Wrap-Up Show.
Welcome to the Hill Country Nation Sports Wrap-Up here on the floor. I know Rad said it was like the second floor, but it's actually the floor and a half of the Jam Broadcasting Empire. Right there, as you can see it, Jam Broadcasting, and there's, tell you what, man, if it wasn't for Justin McClure, Leslie McClure, Angela Krause, Mike Krause, man, we would not be here showing off the flags of fame at the same time. But man, we do appreciate Jam Broadcasting and all that they bring to the table. And I tell you what, Jam Broadcasting is where it's at. Rap FM 94.3 playing all your music, and of course Texas Red Dirt on the talk on 103.7 FM with Twist Nashville, and of course Mike FM is like Jack and Bob FM on steroids. All right, man. I tell you what a dude, man. We're 9 days away, baby. 9 days away.
Woo! I'm excited, man. It's a great time to be in South Texas, man. The last scrimmage is this Thursday, Friday. Whenever the teams are going to have their scrimmage, there is rain in the forecast. Good chance of rain all the way through next Friday. I don't care.
Come on,
I just watched the weather. Surely they won't lie to me again. But we got a chance
Dr.
of rain.
Doppler, we're going to have to get on Dr. Doppler because I tell you what, man. Follow Dr. Doppler on Facebook and Instagram and Twitter, man. He's wrong every time. No, I'm teasing.
Yeah, but man, but you know what? I'm excited to interview this head coach because I've never met this guy before. I mean, and I found out I went to Twitter because that's the one thing I do. I go to Twitter first for all my. And he has a Twitter handle. I'm like, thank you, Lord. So I know he's a good guy. He's a good guy. He's going to be a great guy. He's going to be great for the Eagles. Let's bring him in, man. Let's just wait.
I tell you what, here's the thing. It was so hard to find pictures of this guy. I mean, it's like, I don't know if he's eluding the camera or is he, what it is. I don't know. But we're talking about the Johnson City Eagles. Of course, different logos throughout the years and stuff like that. The Johnson City Eagles have hired a brand new head coach and athletic director after the retirement, and we say air quotes, retirement with David T. signed. Nelson Kortis coming to you live right here. Not only is he the head coach, but man, I tell you what, he's a family man, a husband, and loves to be a family man and a dad to many, many, many more. We're talking about none other than Nelson Kortis of the Johnson City Eagles, man. What's going on, Nelson?
Hey guys, I appreciate the intro there. That's awesome. I mean, you said it though. The family's what it's at. That's kind of what we talk about a lot here, and that's what I focus on with my own kids and my own wife. But that's also something that we kind of talk about even with our own kids within our team. That's something that we talk about all the time.
Man, it's like 9 days, man, 9 nights until kickoff time. And I know you got a scrimmage coming up Thursday or Friday.
We're going tomorrow, Thursday. Yes, sir.
Thursday. So with that in mind, how is the atmosphere around the locker room with your coaches? Because I mean, some of these coaches are new to you, but yet at the same time, did you bring some over?
Well, what was great for me was, like I always tell everybody, everybody on staff's got 15 plus years, coaching experience. They're coaches that want to be around kids. Especially want to be here at Johnson City. So, some of those guys have been here for a while. Some of them have been here, maybe a year or so, but some of them been here longer than that. We had some guys leave and, we're able to bring, some guys in to fill some spots. It was a little bit later in the year, but again, it's with that same mindset of people that want to be in Johnson City and that want to coach kids and want to take care of kids. And so, it makes coming to work easy because, everybody has that I kind of go back and say we're the coaches that fit this middle. Like we're not old school crazy and we're not new school, but we're able to adapt. We bring a little bit of the old school in with the new school. We're able to adapt, and I think everybody fits that, and our kids benefit from that.
Talking about adapting, you lived in the College Station area, Texarkana area. Now you live in the Texas Hill Country. Talk about how different it is in the Texas Hill Country than it is in those other, Texas Hill Country is where it's at, man.
Well, I'll put it to you this way. I was on blood pressure medicine at all the other places, and I'm not on blood pressure medicine now because it's a different world. I mean, it's so peaceful out here. It's the views, the hills. I mean, you can't help but but just appreciate, what God's made. When you look on your field and you see, the hills in the background, it's just unbelievable. I think there's deer everywhere all the time. I tell people, like, I could go shoot a deer in the school parking lot. I'd probably walk up to it if I wanted to. And they don't believe me, but I'm like, and I get on my phone and like I said, we're renting a little place out here, but I get on my phone and I show them, the view, and they're like, I said, yeah, that's every day. I mean, that's every day. The colors, the sunset. I mean, it's really nice, and it's a great place. I mean, it really is, and it's a testament to the kids and the programs and the coaches, and they've been great to me coming in the district. The school's been great to me coming in, but even the coaches that, you're coming into that district and you're coming in February, you're getting to know them. They helped you with the different things. It's just you've been all over, but I mean, it is really a great place to be.
Coach, talk about, like, I mean, when it comes down to it, you're coming from that city and then the city of Johnson City, but what was it like? You applied for this head coach and athletic director job, and then all of a sudden, I mean, you're going through the interview process. Did you know right away? I mean, did you think that you had the job, or was it one of those things you were kind of on pins and needles and thinking maybe I got it?
Well, coaching in Bryan with Coach Rogers, he retired. So that put kind of the OCDC put us all on a spot. We're like, hey, we got to go find jobs or whatever now. And so you were applying for jobs and interviewing a little bit, and, interviewed for this job and felt good about the first interview, interviewed the second time with my family and still felt really good. But you just didn't know because, I feel like in those interviews, you really got to be true to who you are and be genuine with what you say you're going to do and how you're going to do it. And that's way those interviews have become so much easier now when you just go and say, hey, this is who I am. This is what I believe in. This is how I'm going to run the program. And you kind of walk away from that going, well, if I get it, great. If not, then, maybe somebody else that they wanted better got it, and so that's really been my approach. And I was fortunate, again, there was probably some quality candidates that came through and it took a process, and I was fortunate to get this job. And I'll tell people that every day, I'm grateful to be here, and I think it's a great job, and we have great kids and we have great community, we have great support. You can just go on and on and on. Mm-hmm. So, the fact that you got that, like I said, I felt like I was genuine and that this is what they wanted, and they knew what they were getting from that interview, and that it's been that ever since.
All right, Coach, you're in a new city, new town, new players, new coaches, everything. I'm guessing you're bringing a new system into Johnson City. Talk about how last year's team they had a heavy senior class. I think they lost 20 this year. You have about 5 returning starters from last year. Talk about how, like, Tyler Lawrence, wide receiver Ryan Shipley, those guys are helping the young guys move up and have the success that the Johnson City was built on that they started last year.
Well, I think the big thing that, when you graduate that many seniors, these guys kind of come out here and they go, like, they're looking for somebody else to do it. But I'm like, guys, hey, it's you now. Like, it's your time now, whoever that is, and Tyler's been great. Hayden's been great. Ryan's been great. There's a ton of those guys, Grant Gale's been great. I mean, there's a bunch of these seniors that are coming back that have been great, but there's a bunch of guys that were on that team, last year that played a little bit that have been great as well. So, I've really kind of just told them, like, those guys are gone. We honor those guys. We honor the past, but we really got to focus on what we can do and what we can do to make sure that we, are special, and we have, we make the playoffs and we win district championships, and we do those things because you want to be a part of that for your program, but you want to experience that as players. And I think a lot of times the biggest thing that people don't take for granted is the team is always different every year, and regardless of how many you got coming back, regardless of what goes on, that group is different every single year. And kids don't understand, that's the hardest thing for them to realize. They think, oh, I got next year. Oh, but this group only has this year. The group right. Next year will only have next year. And you're only as good as those groups. Like, I go back to high school. We were able to play for a state championship at Rogers. The year before that, we went like 6-6 or 5-6 or something. And then the next year we go 14-2. That group is special. That group's unbelievable. I mean, it's a cool thing. What happened? I don't know. I mean, yeah, we had some great success, but I just tell you, you can go from one week, or 1 year you can be this group and we were 6-6, and then the next year we were 14-2 with a majority of the same group of kids. But then I tell them my senior year we went 5-5, missed the playoffs for the first time in 18 years. And in Rogers America, that's not very good. They get mad at you for that kind of stuff. Yeah. So but telling them how special it is to have that group and appreciate the group for what we have. And let's honor what we've done in the past, but understand what are we going to do? What are we going to do with our team this year, regardless of classification, regardless of whatever, but just what is this group going to do? What's our program going to do as we kind of move forward?
So, Coach, knowing that, coming from a small school like Rogers, and you've coached and, at small schools like Normandy and small schools like that, but you also had some, some higher classification experience. What do you bring to the table to Johnson City that is small town school experience?
Well, I think what I always go back to is I go back to what Rogers was for me as a player and try to emulate that as a coach. Like not that I want to be Rogers. That ain't it. But I want that experience that I had for me to be for what these experiences has for these kids. And it's a small town where, the community has expectations. You have expectations as a program. You have pride in those expectations. And everywhere you go, they know you're a Johnson City Eagle, everywhere you go. And it's like, I tell people that all the time. That's what was important to me, everywhere in the classroom, in the community, we were always about that. And that's what we've talked to our kids about. You're going to represent our program everywhere you go. And it's a small, we break it out to family every day. And I know there's a lot of people that do that, but we do that because we're a community, we're a family, we take care of each other, we do all those things, but that's some of the same stuff. So I always tell the kids, I want that experience for you here. And being at 5As or 6As or whatever, it's still football, it's still kids, but you really get to know everybody in a small town, and you really gotta know. I might have to be on punt team, punt return team, kickoff team. I mean, you got to really play for Jason. You know what I'm saying? You have to do it. You have to bleed it. And you can't just be like, oh, I'm just the quarterback and I don't have to do. No, you have to do everything. You got to do everything. And then those same guys are going to go play basketball and play baseball and run track. And it's going to be our community versus other communities. And we're going to take pride in showing off our program and everything we do. And that's just fun. That's the old school mentality of it. I kind of wish you could go back to the districts where you were, you played the same people and everything. Now it's always different.
Yes.
And it's like, when you play the same people and everything, you're like, man, it's awesome. Like, we're going to play you in football. We're going to beat you in basketball. We're going to beat you in baseball. We're going to beat you in track. And we're just going to, and we're going to do it every year, and that's really what, what I kind of think about is it's important to me for those kids to get to experience those types of things. Will we play for a state championship? Who knows? I mean, but just you want the best for them, and that's kind of what I bring. And I always tell everybody, when they ask me where I'm from, depending on where it is or who it is and what conversation. But I'm from Johnson City. That's my hometown, and I have my son. He thinks that he's going to be a 7th grader. My little girl, she's going to be a 3rd grader. Same thing. Where are you from? We're from Johnson City. Like, you make that your hometown, you treat it like your hometown, and that's the only way I know how to do it.
Awesome. Real quick, if you have a question for Coach or you want to leave a comment, just type it in and I'll show it on the air, and I'll make sure Coach sees it. But Jeff
we might show it on the air. We better put that up. We might show it on the air.
Jeff Page says, welcome to Johnson City, Coach.
I'll tell him I appreciate it.
Sean Bean says, welcome, Coach. You got this, and good luck. So, 2-part question for me. Since you came in February, did you make this schedule or was it already predetermined?
Well, that's a funny story in itself. So I got hired on the 5th was my actual date to get hired on that Saturday after realignment. So, I'm telling people, like, I wasn't approved until, the board meeting at like 11 o'clock or something like that on that Saturday. So I'm kind of calling after realignment. I'm like, hey, look, I'm going to be the head coach in Johnson City. I need a game. So a lot of it was already set. Coach Jacobs, defensive coordinator, he had kind of set a lot of the schedule and worked on some of the games. And Coach Sign had already set up some of those games. we moved it around a little bit, just some home and away stuff. But, the one that we switched, we were supposed to play West Oso, and I just didn't think that was a good matchup for us because it was going to be a pretty far drive and some different things. We're trying to get a game with Hempstead and meet a neutral site, and that's something that we're working on. So that would be a little bit, closer to a better matchup for us, just, from travel and size and that kind of stuff. So that was the only change really that we made, but the rest of it's just kind of been set. And like I said, there were a lot of good things that Coach Jacobs had done before we got here to kind of solidify some of those games. So it was good.
September 23rd, Roger Eagles.
Yeah. I just saw that. Well, I just went to Max Prep and I saw that the game you just took off. So I'm glad I didn't bring that schedule up because that's wrong. That's why I don't go to them. But I'm not going to shame anybody on that.
That's right. That's why you rely on what we do.
Exactly.
Not Max Prep. So I'm sorry.
Yes. So okay. So your district this year, Mason, Stockdale, Harper, Junction, 16 or 5-team district. 4 makes the playoffs. Would you rather have a bigger district or would you like these smaller districts where you have I guess it's a better, not better chance of making the playoffs? I mean, how would you like to have that going?
I mean, really, and I don't mean like it doesn't matter because it obviously does matter. Obviously your chances are better, with the smaller district and that's better when you're trying to, rebuild after graduating some seniors. But at the same time, I really try to tell kids like, we're going to focus on the old school mindset of we want to try to win a district championship because back in the day, only the district champions went to the playoffs. And then back in the day, only 2 went to the playoffs. Yeah. Now it's there's 4, but at the same time, if you have those old school mindset of, hey, we need to win district, we're going to make the playoffs, and so that's kind of where we always talk about that, regardless if there was 5 or 7 teams, and I know I'm not saying, it doesn't matter who we play, but we're going to have that same mindset that we want to win district, we want to make the playoffs, and we want to win a playoff game, so those are going to be the same things that we always talk about, regardless of size of district, regardless of how many teams we're playing. So that's really kind of something that I focus on, that I kind of help, in my mindset with our kids is just, we take that mindset that to win a district championship puts you in the playoffs, just to get there. And I've worked with some great coaches and Fedora, he coached me and then I also played for him. And then as a head coach, he'd always tell me, you're not in the playoffs till you win a playoff game, and so, it's just really, that's where I was brought up. That's where I was brought up in this business. And so that's just kind of the same thing that I'll have, kind of preach to our kids.
One last question before we go to a break. Miss Ashley, you're married to Miss Ashley and you got 2 beautiful kids. And I mean, as far as for her knowing that when it's football season, it's kind of like you break away. I mean, she's kind of doing the things that she has to do for the family. At the same time, do they have like a wives? I mean, since you've been at Johnson City, have they had like a wives' night out where the wives are just going out and maybe going to some barbecue or doing whatever while you and the other coaches are watching the kids at home?
Well, what we do is we usually have a preseason. We'll have a coaches party where we all get together as families and we get a chance to meet everybody and do that kind of stuff. And that's kind of what we've done so far, right now, right when 2-a-days, that first week kind of finishes, we, get together. So we've done that a little bit and then they've had a chance to kind of grow and bond a little bit through that. But yeah, I mean, it's tough on the wives, they're for sure, they have to do a lot, but we always try to bring our kids up to school, bring them to practice. That's the great thing about being coaches' kids. They can be around all the time, but yeah, so they've gotten to know each other through that. And then we'll continue to have some get-togethers, from game to game and different things. And I always try to make it to where, they feel like we're all getting, that it's again, an old school mindset of getting your coaches together, getting those families together, getting those wives together, getting the coaches' kids together, and you build that family and you show that. And then you have that, in your coaching staff, and then you have that in your locker room, and you hopefully you have that in your community.
Awesome. But Coach, we do have to take a quick break. I mean, we don't get rich off of this thing at all, but we do what we can so that we can bring small school sports to it and everything. So what we're going to do is we're going to take a quick. When we come back, though, we're going to have, how well do we really know Coach Kortis? Well, let's find out. But right now, it is all about Angela Walters. For over 15 years, Angela Walters has been in the real estate business. She works very hard to pay attention to details and delivers the very best level of service to each and every important customer. Angela is great at negotiations. She helps with staging your property, problem solving if necessary, and she has aggressive marketing skills. Selling real estate has been a job Angela Walters has enjoyed since she was 19 years old. The Hill Country is Angela's home and knows where to find those hidden gems. Whether you are selling your home or looking to buy the home of your dreams, then look no further than Angela Walters, Realtor. Angela Walters of Kerrville Remax knows that it's easy to sell something you love so much. License 653731. And we want to thank Angela Walters for being our sponsor here tonight. I tell you what, she has lived in this hill country, and it's not just the Kerrville area. We're talking about all around. And I tell you what, so if you're looking for something, whether it's to buy or sell, Angela Walters is it. Because when you live in the hill country and you know the hill country like the back of your hand, it is easy to sell that home that you're looking, to sell. Or if you want to buy a home, she'll tell you she's got all the hidden gems. I'm just telling you straight up. All right, Coach, this is our favorite part of the show. It's gonna be, why do you say
Well, because I like the first segment. I like getting to know what the coaches think about other, but go ahead. This is more personal. This is your you thing.
Let me rephrase it. This is my favorite part because Coach, I want to get to know Coach Nelson Kortis like this. So word on the street is, Coach, kind of looking around, talking around, just finding out some information. You're kind of a jokester, huh?
I like to have fun. I mean, you got to have fun in this world. If you don't have fun, it makes it tough. So I always like to enjoy it and have a smile on my face, but I definitely like to have fun.
So what's your best dad joke?
Oh, shoot.
You got some dad jokes in there. Come on now.
I'm trying to put me on the spot now. I don't know.
But you love dad jokes, right?
Oh yeah, me and my son go back and forth all the time. He's always got them, and then we go and then we add to them. You know what I mean? And then kind of spin them and make them. But yeah, we always do that, especially in the car. On the way home from practice or to practice.
Were you going to say something? Because
I don't
have one, man. I can't think of one. I can't
set my boundary there.
No, I can't think of one.
Well, I tell you what, man, what's fun is that, you get the dad joke with your son, but then also, I've been hearing about some dad jokes on the team towards the team as well.
Yeah, we have fun. The fun thing is the kids enjoy going to practice. So like, we keep it light in different times, but they understand when it's time to work too, so that's kind of the way, it's hot outside and I tell them, hey, we can't say the H word, it's not hot. I don't want to worry about it being hot, but there's times where you can't talk during the warm up. You can't, like some of this, you talk and you keep it a little light, and then they know when this particular segment's going on and we're coaching, you're listening and we're getting after it. And then when we take a break, and so like I just learned that the kids like that. They need that sometimes, that little 5-minute break here or there, throughout practice. And it's just, you can talk to them, you can, hey, ask them how school was, whatever it is. And you can keep it a little bit lighter. And then they know, hey, and I always say when it's blinking, and if you've been around coaches that run on a segment clock, that blinking light's telling you there's a minute left to go and whatever. So if we're coming out of the break, it's blinking, let's go. And they kind of understand when it's blinking, it's time to get back to work. And that's kind of what we've been doing.
Awesome.
All right. Every coach lies to me on this question. I know you probably, I don't know you personally, but I know every coach that has this. What is your superstition every week on game day? Like socks, you have to wear the same socks, same shirt, same something, right?
Well, okay. So I would say this: when I was in high school and we're going on that run, we're playing 16 games. So we're playing 14 games, and it's like, I got a button, I got a nickel in my pocket, I got the same underwear, I got all and then we lose the game, and I'm like, man, whatever. And then even starting out coaching, my wife can testify to it too, is I would have all these little things. And then I finally got to the point I said, you know what? Like all these little things create like this stress. And I'm worried about, do I have this coin or did I have this pen or whatever? And so I just, hey, I want to have a pen. I want to have a call sheet. I want to have it laminated and then let's go now. So, I mean, really, it's probably, I would say that preparation has changed that a little bit. Yeah. I mean, I will say I'd like to have a cold laminated it and, like make it, a thick call sheet. If I don't have that, I'll probably get mad or be out of my element. But yeah, like I've kind of gotten away from that a little bit because I used to have all these things and it was like, hey, focus on just relaxing and calling a game and doing the best you can and getting your kids prepared because they're the ones that are doing all the stuff that you used to do. You know what I mean? And so you got to be the one leading them and saying, hey guys, like, hey, let's go play, let's get after it, and not be worried about, did we do this? Did we do, if we get out of routine or something, they're going to look to you. Like I always remember first as a head coach when you were late or something, like your schedule was off and the kids, then they're off. Well, now it's got to be like, hey, now sometimes you got to practice that, you practice being off, you practice, early on, hey, we're going to do this segment different or we're going to change something. And so then they kind of go, okay, hey coach, when a change comes, you teach them how to roll with it because you've practiced that as opposed to like, oh, hey, we didn't get here 30 minutes ahead or we didn't, things happen. So you got to teach them, so I've kind of gotten away from some of those superstitions, but, really it's just, I really want to be left alone and, be quiet before the game, but none of that happens. So I throw all that out the window.
Well, I need to send you a text about what somebody sent me about what you said about being left alone. I'm going to send you a text here a little bit later on. But when you say superstition, okay, let's go back to Fridays now. So you win the first game. And that Friday you had, I don't know, let's just say the same salmon, a sandwich and maybe some chips and a drink, or maybe you went somewhere for lunch. Do you stick with that?
No, I don't even worry about it. I honestly just would try not to even think like that just because if not, I'll probably would get into that. I got to have this sandwich and then something's going to happen. I can't do it. So I just go, oh, hey, you had a good lunch or had a good breakfast. Now I will say, and I don't, have any shout out to Hometown Donuts or anything, but I do like to get the blueberry cake donuts on Friday.
Oh, that's my favorite. Yes.
They're so good. They're unbelievable.
A blueberry cake is a bomb, man. And coffee?
Oh, every day, all day, as much as I can have it,
There you go, Trey.
Hey, I got one coach who doesn't drink coffee. I'm so happy. One coach.
I would say not yet. He will at some point.
No, this guy's been coaching forever. He never can drink coffee.
Well, it really starts out like you just don't have time for anything else, and this is kind of what you got at your disposal. Then, like now, it's drink black coffee because you don't have sugar, you don't have creamer, or you don't go buy it or whatever. So, you can always get coffee. You can't always get a Red Bull.
And with Coach Kowalski coaching for 27 years, man, he's like he still sticks with the same breakfast: peanut butter crackers with Mountain Dew.
Yeah. Hey, Mountain Dew's good.
All right, you up? I'm sorry, Trey. Go ahead.
Oh, go ahead. All right. I want to know what the 2022 Johnson City Eagle motto is for this season.
Well, what we did, it was kind of a cool deal that we kind of fell upon. And, it's something that I've thought about for a while, and we've gone through some different things. But breaking down the meaning of Eagles for our kids and really going through what it means to be an Eagle and, because that's going to be everywhere you see everything. So breaking down those words, kind of like the 6 pillars or whatever, whatever you want to say. So effort, attitude, grit, leadership, excellence, and then standard. And so as you go through all those letters, effort's kind of the first thing, non-negotiable. You should want to give effort, attitude. You should give great effort. You should have great attitude. Grit, perseverance, overcoming adversity, overcoming things, just kind of teaching them about life. Then from that, if we've done those things, then we should be, in a point of leadership, and we should be showing, leading by example, leading for our community, leading for our school. And then excellence obviously is, the best version of yourself, the best version you can do. And then when you become the standard, you become the program that people look to and they compare yourself to. And we all know those programs. And so that's just kind of been something that I kicked around, and I would kind of sit in the office and go through some different words, and really we run to those letters. I mean, we run 6 whatever sprints or whatever it is every day to kind of build that into what it means to be an Eagle and what Eagles represent, and those are kind of the things that we kind of put would be our backbone right now.
What about a 2022 game day Bible verse?
For Bible verses, you can always go through the ones that go through there, but one that I don't know the exact verse of it, but it's from when the game stands tall. So those that humble themselves will be exalted, or those that exalt themselves will be humbled, and those that humble themselves will be exalted. That's something that we try to share just kind of in what we do every day. We don't need to be. It doesn't need to be about us. It needs to be about our team. It doesn't need to be us as an individual. It needs to be about our team. And that's really kind of, that's really the family mantra, that really what we talk about is, I ask the kids every day at the end, like, who do we take care of? What matters the most? And then, I want them to say, our team, or we do, that's where, so that kind of goes back to, some of that Bible verse, it not being about individual success or us bragging about ourselves, but us just really focusing on each other and being great teammates and being a great team.
Oh, sorry. Okay. So to talk about Bibles and everything, we got the Dave Campbell football Bible. Now, me as a kid, I couldn't wait for it to come out, see where they put what they're saying about me, and then it motivated me to see, like, they picked us third in our district. No, we're gonna be first. Like, Johnson City the same way. Like, are y'all motivated from where they put y'all? Because right now, they didn't favor y'all very well in that pre-district poll.
Well, I think I think our kids are realistic in understanding that it's tough to replace those seniors, but at the same time, we're not worried about necessarily replacing. We're worried about continuing that success. So as opposed to where you're ranked and stuff, you kind of know that's going to happen. Losing, I think we had 16, 18 seniors, and that was a heavy senior team. So I don't think they really worry about so much as where it is. But I mean, obviously, when we go back to saying we're going to talk about winning a district championship, we're going to talk about winning a playoff game, we're going to talk about those things. Those are things we already do talk about. And so that's really kind of, when you do those things, the rankings and everything, take care of themselves. And I always go back to the story of Rogers, the year we played for the state championship, we were never ranked in the state ever. And we beat a lot of teams that were ranked, and we were never, we were in the top 4 because there was only 4 playing.
Yeah. That's awesome, man. Coach, I mean, this has been an awesome interview, and we could just talk to you forever and all day. Mm-hmm. It's kind of like, when you start to talk to somebody, you kind of like feel that connection. It's like, I'm ready to come home and have buttermilk pie and have a cup of coffee with you and just go from there.
For sure.
But when it comes all down to it, what makes Coach Nelson Kortis?
I always go back and I tell people all the time, like, I was the kid who needed athletics more than athletics needed me. Mm-hmm. I was that kid. I mean, football was my way out of a lot of stuff in my life. And so, you can give back by having that connection with a kid and girls, boys, whatever, it doesn't matter, but you just create that connection through your program, through your connection with those kids. And that gives kids an opportunity. It may not be to go play college football or go play college volleyball or basketball, whatever. Mm-hmm. It may be to go to school just for the first time there. And that was what my coaches kind of helped me understand. I was able to connect with a game. I loved the game. The game, gave me a reason to go to school, gave me a reason to keep your grades up, then ultimately, you kind of start thinking, how can I give back? What can I do? How can I still be a part of the game? And really, that's kind of the thing that got me into coaching and keeps me into coaching, because you can give back to the kids, you can give back to the program, and you're able to, have that connection that kind of goes further. And it's also still continuing to be a part of something bigger than yourself.
Absolutely. Amen. Well said. That is awesome. You got one more, Trey, because we're getting ready to go ante up.
Ante up, baby, because he answered all my questions. Ante up.
All right, here we go.
Positive.
All right, here we go to our final segment. It's called Ante Up, Coach. And we've been doing some of these interviews here for all year, just trying to catch up with some of the, this is the first time we've done this ever. And so it's awesome because I didn't really get to meet you when Stephen Shipley and was playing against Refugio and all that stuff. He said that he had merch for me. Never saw it, so I'm going to have to get on Stephen Shipley for that. But
yeah.
So here we go, Ante Up. So what it is that, we already got a hat. So we can always use updated ones. And we got an awesome flag from Coach JT signed right before he retired. He was just like honored to get that from him. So what can Johnson City do for Hill Country Nation and the Johnson City merch so we can wear it with pride?
We can find you we'll find you guys some T-shirts and we'll get it that way.
Now, is it the kind that, like the waterproof kind, sweat kind, or is it just T-shirt?
Well, I don't think anybody wears the old T-shirts anymore.
There you go. Nice. Okay, now here comes the Ante Up part. Coach Fontano Amadee out of Bandera is giving us a helmet. So is Coach Easterly out of Comfort. He's going to be giving us a helmet. And we got Coach Shipley out of Fredericksburg Heritage giving us a helmet. We got helmets coming all the way. What can Johnson City do for a helmet?
Oh, helmet's easy.
Sweet. With the new logo.
Yes, sir.
Bam.
I want to know what you're going to do with all this in that office. Like, it's a small, like you.
You wait. No, there's room. Look. I'm just going to show everybody right now. Here it is here at the Hill Country Nation, but it's Jam Broadcasting Studio, but we have the Hall of Flags of Fame. And right there, bam, representing Johnson City like there ain't no tomorrow. And I got the hat too. We'll find a place, man. Why are you?
I just
hating.
I'm not hating. I'm just going to be very impressed.
Coach, here's the deal, Coach. Will you autograph the helmet?
Sure. Yeah.
Bam. That's what I'm talking about. Ante Up.
And we'll have a little bit different look. It'll be cool. You'll like it.
Man, Coach, it's been an honor to just talk to you here tonight. We really appreciate it. Again, so sorry about last week. We had it all planned out and everything was working, and then bam, something happened. And anyway, make long story short, man, you're a great sport about it and willing to come on tonight. So we really appreciate you. We are going to have some Johnson City games of the week. That's already done and said. We just can't tell you yet till it kind of gets closer. And we got to finalize our schedule as well. But have you been to the cupboard yet?
Oh, yeah, I've been there. I've been in the cupboard, get the chicken fries, really good. I haven't been for breakfast yet, though, but yeah, no, I've been there. It's really good.
The Huevos Rancheros with pancakes and bacon is the bomb. So awesome. Coach, man, thank you so much. And please let Miss Ashley know. We appreciate her too.
Thank you, Coach.
And we appreciate you. And Coach, we look forward to an awesome season. And, just knowing that Johnson City is in great hands with Coach Nelson Kortis. And
amen.
We appreciate you, Coach.
And us as coaches really appreciate what y'all do for us and our programs and our kids because, it's really special for our kids to hear themselves on the radio and see themselves on Twitter and those kind of things. So we do appreciate what y'all do as well.
Well, and that's the thing. We want to thank you guys because we know that the small schools work just as hard as the big schools.
Oh, yeah.
They're not going to get the recognition in the papers and the big papers. And the only time they're on TV is if they're deep in the playoffs and playing in those San Antonio, Austin areas and things like that. And that's why we do what we do, because they need the recognition and see. And it's coaches like you that are willing to coach small schools in the Ironman football to bring it to them. So it goes hand in hand. We just appreciate you.
Yes, sir. Thank y'all.
Thank you. All right, that's going to do it here for another episode of the Hill Country Sports Wrap-Up. Man, we appreciate Coach Kortis and just coming on tonight and just kind of giving us the rundown of what's going on in Johnson City and the attitude around the city of Johnson City. We appreciate Johnson City so much. And why is not my place? I blame it on Trey. That's what I have to do. I have to blame it on Trey. Anyway, make long story short, find us on YouTube, find us on Twitter, find us on Instagram, find us on Facebook as well. And, of course, don't forget, JT3 Show is the big one. Trey Collins, up and coming. I mean, tell you what, he's going to be so popular that he's going to make me look small time. That's all right. That's how it is. It ain't about us. It's about the kids in small town schools. All right, in the words of Robert Newman, since he ain't here, we want to say we personally, again, want to thank, and I've got to just, if I don't do it, I'm going to make me kicking myself. Jam Broadcasting. Thank you, Justin McClure, Leslie McClure, Angela Krause, Mike Krause, for allowing us to do what we do right here for the Hill Country Sports Wrap-Up. Jam Broadcasting, I tell you what, man, go to jambroadcasting.com. They'll play every kind of music that you ever want to hear. In the words of Robert Newman, we want to say good night.